Hey, we are addicted to pain and suffering and afraid of joy and ecstasy? How? How is this possible? This seems ridiculous. Well, it takes a little bit of a thorough analysis, but it is indeed the case. So, how is that? Well, Eckhart Tolle explains the way we are addicted to suffering pretty well. He uses the concept of the pain body, the part of us that is addicted to suffering. So it's not our whole conscious mind that is addicted to suffering. Consciously, none of us want suffering, of course. That's why it seems so ridiculous to claim that we are addicted to suffering. But the way it pans out is subconsciously we are addicted to suffering. And how does this happen? How does this take place? Well, it takes place with our opinionated resistance. We generate this feeling of resistance toward aspects of reality whenever there is no need. Simply put, all of life would be so smooth if we just accepted everything instantaneously and effortlessly, right? Everything that came to you, if you just accepted it as, oh, this is for my highest good, because this is how it is, this is what's happening, so that must mean this is ideal. If it was that easy, if we just all just accepted everything like that, then there wouldn't be really any growth. So this is part of the mechanism of the dichotomy between the conscious mind and the unconscious, or the subconscious mind. And so our subconscious mind is addicted to suffering. It has all of these hidden beliefs that are instilled, essentially programmed into us that we don't, or we may or may not believe consciously, but subconsciously we still do believe them. Such as, I know best. I know what is best for me, and I know what is best for reality. So this situation that I am experiencing right now is not best. This is not best. And so I experience resistance to this experience. And see, that belief that we know best is false, firstly. And so that, whether or not you believe this in your conscious mind or not, you may have reached a point where you can accept the truth of, no, I do not know best. I only have a finite awareness, so of course I cannot know what is best. I'm limited, and only God can know what is best, truly, for me and for everything. Only one with infinite awareness and intelligence could possibly know what is best, and that's not me. So I just can't possibly know due to the nature of my experience. Maybe, your conscious mind understands and believes that. But your subconscious mind, if you still experience resistance to anything at all in life, then your subconscious mind still believes the opposite. It still believes that you know what's best. And so this belief manifests as this contraction within your awareness, this feeling of resistance, and these thoughts of, oh, this isn't right, I need to make this better. And that suffering is completely unnecessary, because it doesn't actually change reality to suffer in that way, to experience that resistance, to believe in whatever belief causes the resistance. That doesn't help you. It actually serves you. It does not serve you whatsoever. And believing that it does will keep that resistance alive within you. So that's definitely the first step, is to not believe that anymore. But so yes, in this way, we are subconsciously addicted to suffering. And why are we addicted to it? Well, I suppose I already said It's because of the mechanism for our evolution, our journey. Learning um, that acceptance is the way. Of course, we can only learn that acceptance is the way by experiencing resistance and realizing that, oh, resistance is not the way. Resistance does not serve me. I choose acceptance. Um, and and so, do we secretly enjoy this suffering? Yes. Oddly enough, um, we actually enjoy this suffering, and that's the only reason it stays in our subconscious mind. It's because there's a part of us that likes it, that that an easy example of this is the victim mentality. Whenever all kinds of stuff starts happening against you, you know, let's just say a whole cascade of events just kind of unnecessarily happens against you, like your car breaks down, your pipe to your shower bursts at home, um, and your girlfriend breaks up with you, all in the same day. It'd be pretty easy to go into a victim mentality under a circumstance like that and think, oh, poor me, all this is happening to me, I'm a victim. And really what's happening in that case of the victim mentality is this sort of making ourselves feel better. But we're making ourselves feel better by suffering. It's odd, saying, like, putting ourselves down, losing our empowerment, our responsibility. So it truly is a pleasurable addiction. There is some sort of, backwards, hard to understand kind of pleasure that we get out of our suffering. Um, Victim mentality is just a really great example to illustrate that. But it does permeate and apply to other types of suffering as well. It's harder to understand how it does, but it does. And anyway, so how are we afraid of pleasure and joy and ecstasy? Yeah, that one just can't be true, right? No, yeah, that one's actually true too. Um, so the root of all fear is the fear of death. This can be um, pretty easily explained from a biological perspective. We evolved as animals, and the only reason fear would have evolved is for self-preservation, preservation of our lives. And so since that was the first fear, the primordial fear, the fear of death, all other fear is really just been a trickle down effect, or a branching off from that primordial fear. Even social fear, for example, in the tribal days of humanity, if one was to be socially outcast, their likelihood for survival would go down significantly. Of course, so yeah, the primordial fear is the fear of death, all fear, essentially. And how does this relate? Well, the fear of death actually goes another layer deeper, in that the fear of death is also the fear of how good life is. All right? The fear of how amazing and incredible and blissful and beautiful life is. Now how does that happen? How is that? Why are we afraid of that? Well, the fear of death is the fear of losing that. So this idea of having and this idea of losing are both fallacies that are completely interconnected. So if you think you can have something, then you think you can lose something. Similarly, um, with each new level of bliss we encounter in life, a new level of attachment is simultaneously unlocked for us to be attached to this new level of bliss. And so as we, expand our consciousness and we attain higher and higher states of greater and greater bliss and ecstasy, it unlocks new levels of attachment to just how good life is. And whether we realize it or not, this attachment is representative of the fear of death, of the fear of losing the incredible ecstasy and bliss that is our true nature, that is the nature of reality. We are afraid of losing, and therefore afraid of having, because having means losing. This idea of possession, this idea of owed experience, this idea of fleetingness, right? Because all of our experiences in life are fleeting. That is the nature of our existence as well. Is everything comes and goes, rises to a peak, and then falls away. And so, since everything in our experience is fleeting, right? Well, subconsciously, we just assume that this incredible ecstasy that we're experiencing now in this moment is, when it happens, is fleeting as well. And so we become attached, and we're afraid of losing it. And so we're afraid of having it subconsciously, because that having is interconnected to losing. They're two sides of the same coin, really. Because you can't appreciate having without first experiencing losing, right? If losing didn't exist, then you wouldn't be able to deeply appreciate the having, right? And so this is why this sort of suffering is an integral part of our nature. And the aim is not to, make the suffering go away or to avoid the suffering. It is to see the suffering for what it is. To see the processes, to see the interconnection between all things. And whenever we see reality for how it truly is, then we transcend the duality, the back and forth of chasing pleasure and running from pain, this rat race. It comes from seeing things as they are. And so it's not about needing to do this or needing to do that. It is about seeing it take place, seeing the process, seeing the system. And so, of course, pleasure and ecstasy aren't bad things, and really, that is our true nature. That is our natural inheritance. That's our kingdom of heaven, and that's where we are. And when we don't realize it, that's okay. And when we feel like we're not there, that's still where we're going. So there's no worry, nothing to worry about. But it's all part of the mechanism, the mechanism of knowing ourselves deeper and deeper. We must have the two sides of the coin to understand, due to our limited perception. This is the law of contrast. We can only know the light by knowing the dark. If we were infinite awareness in this moment, then you wouldn't be able to have an ego, because you'd be everything. There wouldn't be any separation in your perception. So you couldn't have any duality. You couldn't have any experience. Infinite awareness needed to create finite awareness as this sort of game for itself, to experience itself truly and deeply, from a state of unknowing to come to a state of knowing. You know, that's why you go watch a scary movie, right? Do you actually love fear? Well, as we discussed earlier, yeah, you do. You are addicted to fear. You go watch a scary movie because you enjoy the fright. What? How does that make sense? But we do it all the time. We like the anticipation of not knowing what's happening and being afraid, but knowing that it's all just a show. So that is the analogy for what's happening in all of reality, with infinite consciousness creating this show, this scary movie of the finite awareness that we are experiencing in this moment, so that we can enjoy ourselves. Crazy, right? But you do it. You do it yourself. It's pretty meta, but you're doing it when you go watch a scary movie. All right. I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Interested to read them. All right. Bye.